My name is Hannah Carter. I'm 29 years old, a registered nurse, and a single mother to 4-year-old twins, Noah and Ella. 2 months ago, I was rushed into emergency surgery after sudden internal bleeding that doctors said could have turned fatal within hours. Lying on that hospital bed, shaking, terrified, barely able to breathe, I made one phone call. Not to a friend, not to a coworker, not to a neighbor. I called my parents. Because my twins were at home with a babysitter who was scheduled to leave in less than an hour, and I needed anyone, to stay with them while I was in surgery. My mom answered. I told her everything. And after a long pause, she said something I will never forget. We already made plans. We're busy. Figure something out. Then she hung up. A few seconds later, a message appeared in the family group chat. Cold. Dismissive. Final. In that moment, I realized exactly how little I meant to them. And I also made a decision that would change everything. Growing up, I always knew where I stood in my family. My older brother, Aaron, was the favorite. Everything he did was celebrated. Every mistake he made was excused. Every dream he had was funded. When he failed college, my parents paid his tuition again. When he wanted to start a business, they drained their savings to support him. When I earned a scholarship and entered nursing school, they congratulated me briefly, then asked if I could babysit his kids. I learned early that love in my house came with conditions. You mattered when you were useful. So I became useful. I studied relentlessly. I worked nonstop. I never complained. Even when my husband left during my pregnancy, I handled everything quietly. I didn't want to be another burden. After my twins were born, life became a blur of exhaustion. Night shifts, day classes, constant pressure. But somehow I kept going. What no one noticed was that I was also carrying my family financially, helping with bills, covering emergencies, sending money whenever they needed it. Every time they asked, I said yes, because saying no felt wrong, because love was something I believed had to be earned. The pain came out of nowhere. Sharp. Crushing. Terrifying. Within minutes, I was in an ambulance, oxygen mask pressed to my face, for lines in my arms. Doctors said I needed immediate surgery. All I could think about was my children. When my mom answered my call, relief flooded me. That relief vanished seconds later. She sounded annoyed. They were out. They had plans. They didn't want to cancel. My dad followed up with a message telling me not to overreact. My brother reacted with a laughing emoji. That was the moment something inside me finally shattered. From my hospital bed, I booked an emergency nanny service and authorized triple payment without hesitation. Strangers showed more concern for my children than my own family. The surgery lasted nearly 4 hours. Doctors later said I was dangerously close to losing my life. During my recovery, my parents never called. Not once. On the third day, I opened my banking app. Years of automatic transfers filled the screen. Mortgage help, insurance payments, emergency support. I canceled every single one. No confrontation, no argument, no announcement, just silence. For the first time in my life, I chose myself. 2 weeks later, a knock echoed through my apartment. When I opened the door, I froze. My grandfather stood there. Sharp eyes, calm presence, steady voice. A man who had spent decades uncovering truth for a living. He hugged me gently, then looked at the scar on my abdomen. I know what they did, he said quietly. Then he handed me an invitation. His birthday gathering. The entire family would be there. And so would the truth. The house was filled with laughter, music, and celebration. My parents looked relaxed. My brother looked confident. Everything appeared perfect. Until my grandfather stood. He spoke slowly, clearly, and calmly. He revealed financial records. Years of support. Emergency payments. Monthly transfers. Then he read the message my mother sent while I lay bleeding in an ambulance. Silence swallowed the room. Faces drained of color. Whispers rippled through the crowd. For the first time in my life, I didn't defend them. I didn't protect their image. I stood still, holding my children, letting the truth speak. My parents left early. No one followed them.
No one stopped them.
Family members I barely knew approached with apologies. Some cried. Some admitted they had believed the wrong version of the story for years. Life didn't suddenly become easy, but it became lighter. The financial weight was gone. The emotional burden lifted. Peace replaced exhaustion. The money I once sent now goes into my children's future. Education.
Security.
Opportunity. My grandfather became a constant presence in our lives. Slow Sundays. Quiet dinners. Simple moments. And for the first time, I finally felt safe. For years, I believed love had to be earned. That sacrifice proved loyalty. That endurance created worth. But love that demands suffering is not love. And family that only values what you provide is not family. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop giving. Stop apologizing. Stop shrinking. And finally choose yourself. Because your life, your peace, and your children deserve nothing less.